Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Carolyn and her clothes. And today I have a different kind of video, and one I've been kind of putting off and dreading to do because it really isn't my forte or expertise to talk about this. So with that, I'm going to say I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm letting you know what worked for me and what plan I'm on and what has allowed me to maintain a moderate lifestyle of maintaining my size. Note in my heading and what I just said, I maintained my size over the course of 5 years. I have not maintained my weight. I go up and down. I am not perfect. My goal is to keep the same size. My goal is to not go up and down in sizes and have to constantly buy new clothes. And that was my goal to start with. I was just tired of going up and down. Size 4 being my smallest, size 8 and busting out is when I would then go on the purge and the diet. So with that, let me tell you about some pieces of wisdom that have been imparted on me throughout the years through this journey and allows me to maintain my weight. All right, first what, and which everyone here should agree, we all need food. We need food to survive. You cannot just cut it out of your diet, okay? Number 2, and I think we've learned this from watching so many things throughout the years, we can be addicted to anything, including food. My 600-pound life is a perfect example of that. But, food addiction is real, and I believe anything can be addictive, and it's just trying, because you need food in your life, you can't go cold turkey. So you have to learn how to be moderate with what you eat. Now, for those that might be just tuning in, you might be like, well, you're not heavy. Well, yeah, I was heavy, all right? For somebody who's 5'2" and busting out of a size 10, I was at the point where I was considered clinically obese. Like, I was just at that point. And the reason why I wanted to lose weight, it was not for really health reasons, and I've said this before. I woke up, I've always wanted to be thin because I always felt better, number 1. Number 2, it was easier to buy clothes that fit. And number 3, just to me, more aesthetically pleasing. It was always, ingrained in my head, especially a kid of the 70s, that, being overweight was not, a good thing. And things have changed, and the body shaming has changed over the years. I get that. But at this point, I still want to be a smaller size because, 1, I feel better. I feel that the clothes fit me better. And overall, I'm getting better reports from my doctors. And I'll get into that in a bit too. Okay. Number 3, the other thing that I've learned over the years, human beings in general, we want what we cannot have. Whatever it is. We say you can't have that, we want it even more. It's just like part of our being, it's part of our psyche, it's how we are. The other thing I learned over the years, and some of you might disagree with me on this, it's all calories in and calories out. A lot of you read, well, it's the carbohydrates, or no, it's the fats. It's just plain old calories, all right? And if you're not expending the calories you're bringing in, you're not going to lose the weight, all right? The other thing I learned through my nutritionist is that protein and carbs per gram have 4 calories each. So not one is, more dense or worse for you than the other. They're equal. They're 4 calories per gram, all right? Fat, on the other hand, is 9 calories per gram. Does that mean it's bad? No, just that it has more calories. Nothing is bad per se, all right? Fat, carbohydrates, and protein are all needed as part of a healthy diet, but it's the portions and the moderation of it that I needed help with, all right? Let's see. So what does that mean? What does moderation mean? What does a balanced diet mean? Well, a balanced diet is more or less, and it's different for every person, but approximately a third of your calories from protein, a third of your calories from carbohydrates, and a third of your calories from fat. So what does that mean? Because fat is so many more calories, you get like half the fat in quantity than you would in protein or carbohydrates. I think that was the key for me, is to have more protein in my diet. So I'm currently at 120 grams of protein a day. Why is protein so important for you? Well, one, it fills you up and keeps you fuller longer than a carbohydrate does. So thus, you'll eat less. Two, it helps you build muscle, and more muscle will allow you to eat more eventually. Now, you see my size. I'm a size 0. I weigh probably about 120 pounds. I'm not all muscle. There's definitely fat in on me. But that muscle that I do have, and obviously I'm not bulky, I'm way bulkier or muscular more now than I was before I started this journey 5 years ago. And I was going to the gym, but I was just not getting more muscular. And the reason why I do believe is because my protein was lacking. All right. Protein is filling, it's good for you, it's good for your bone, and it increases your muscle mass. Again, if you're a woman, you don't think you're going to be bulking up because you're eating more protein. Yes, you're going to get a little bit more muscular definition, but we're women. Very few of us bulk up, so don't be worried about that. It also helps keep off the osteoporosis. I currently do have osteopenia. I kind of now regret making those bad choices when I was younger, but so far it hasn't really affected my health in any way. So what is key is not this, I'm going to eat all healthy and I'm not going to allow myself this. It's just consistency in eating a balanced diet that is below your caloric intake each day in order to lose weight. So what does that mean? What I would recommend, if you're starting this journey, download one of the free apps, like MyFitnessPal is the one I use, but there are plenty others out there, and start keeping track of what you eat per day. If you're maintaining and you want to lose, just put in there exactly and be honest with yourself. Really try and track everything that passes your list per day. And then if you want to lose weight, you look at that and say, okay, what one thing can I adjust or cut out, or reduce? Maybe I don't eat 2 bags of pretzels, maybe I just eat 1. Just try and make a small tweak, because all you have to be in is a calorie reduction to lose weight. You don't have to be like in a calorie, starvation mode to lose weight. That's not what the point is. The point is just to reduce it a little bit, be consistent, and over time, the weight will come off, all right? Exercise. I have to say, exercise does help, but some people think that you can exercise and then you can eat all you want. I was going to the gym probably close to 2 years, exercising like a lunatic, and I wasn't losing any weight. You know why? Because I didn't shut the trap. The trap kept going and food kept going in. So, exercise is important. It helps burn calories. I actually eat probably more than most women my age because I exercise, but that certainly does not mean that I can eat what the heck I want. I have to weigh, scoop, and measure every single morsel that passes through these lips, and I have to be consistent about it. Otherwise, I gain weight if I'm not honest with myself. Next thing I learned is you got to enjoy what you eat. If you're going to be eating bland chicken and broccoli every meal, you're not going to stick to it. There are so many things that you can eat that are going to please you. You just have to look at the labels and be more conscious. There's things that you would think would be healthy. This is healthy for me, but there's a lot of calories in them. Nuts are very healthy for you. I love nuts. I used to eat like a Costco-sized thing of peanuts every day pre losing weight, and guess what? I was obese. So yes, nuts are healthy for you, but again, in moderation, and knowing what that moderation is so important. I'm going to have you follow, if you're not quite sure how to eat, in a calorie deficit and you need ideas for meals, 2 people that I follow. One is on YouTube. Her name is In With Jenn. I'll put her link below. She has some great meals. She turned me on to some good ideas. Like, I'm not a huge meal prepper. Like, I just bake chicken and I make my peppers, as you know, each week. But other than that, I don't do like a whole full-blown meal. because I'm only cooking for myself. But she turned me on to G. Hughes barbecue sauce. It's delicious, you know. She did not turn me on to the Quest chips. I knew about the Quest chips before her, but those are delicious too. I mean, I love those, again, in moderation. That's another thing that I've learned too, is that I cannot buy in bulk and then parse out the food, because I will put some of the food in my mouth as I'm parsing it out. So I need to buy my food prepackaged in portion size. I need that for me. Now, other people might have more willpower. I do not. Again, all you have to do is make small changes. They can give you the ideas of what those small changes are. Maybe instead of eating rice, you eat rice cauliflower, and you're like, oh, rice cauliflower, I don't care. There's a delicious one. Now, In with Jen turned me on to this one that's really good, is the Spanish style rice cauliflower. That's got a kick to it, and I find it delicious. Give me a minute, my potatoes are beeping. Hey, okay, I'm back. You might be like, potatoes? You can eat potatoes on your diet? Yes, potatoes are high in potassium and good for you. There are a lot of carbohydrates, but they're important carbohydrate. And carbohydrates, in case you don't know, is your main energy source. And when I run 2.5 miles a day, I can use some energy. So, yes, I do have potatoes. I don't always have them every day. I have 3 baked potatoes that I have in the oven now. If I have, 1 baked potato, that's a huge amount of my carbohydrates. I think about half of them each day. So sometimes I eat like half of a baked potato versus a full baked potato. It depends on my mood and what I'm in the mood for. And you know what? I could put a little light cheese and maybe a teaspoon of bacon bits on them, and it all fits in my macros. So you just have to do things in moderation and do small changes. That's basically what I learned. So what is the thing that keeps me going and doing this? I mentioned my clothes. I have a huge, as you know, investment in my clothes now. I spend a ton of money. So it's really important for me to maintain my same size. One of the ways I do this, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this, I wear a lot of jeans and structured clothes, and you see me get dressed every day. No sweatpants. I try not to do leggings. I do have a few pull-on pants, but for the most part, I try to stick to structured pants because they don't lie to you. You know, that's the easiest thing. When you start noticing your pants getting too tight, well then, you know what? You haven't been honest with yourself, and you need to go back to counting every single thing that you put through your mouth. For those of you that say, what kind of life is that you have to, like, I can eat ice cream, I can eat my potatoes, I can go out to dinner with my husband once a week, but it does require some thought and preparation. I have to meal prep, or at least come up with ideas of what I'm gonna be eating each day. I'm a plain person, always been a plain person, which then limits the types of food that I eat too. I'm a very picky eater. So I don't mind eating the same thing every day, but if you need something different every day, then that is going to require you to really think about what you're going to want to eat each week, and then plan out your meals accordingly. There's so many different things you can eat. You can eat fish, you can eat ground chicken, you can eat ground turkey, you can even have a steak. You just got to be mindful of the cut. And you know what? You probably can't get a steak slabbed with butter and bacon on it, because then that would be too much fat. You know, you would have to make choices and decisions somewhere. I can easily go to the Longhorn, have a steak, a potato, and a salad there. Now that's the bulk of my macros for the day. But the good news is that it does hold me over for pretty much the whole day. One other good thing about following macros is that my grocery bill is pretty predictable. I do save money in going out to eat. I have a terrible Diet Coke addiction. So with that Diet Coke addiction, I spend about $140 a week on groceries on myself. So to give you an idea, I go out once a week with my husband usually, and that's about it. How else do I keep accountable and keep the weight down? I see my nutritionist each week. seeing somebody and actually having to pay somebody to look at me and tell me, well, you're up, Carolyn, has helped me. I do scans too. That keeps me accountable because, you know, I can look in the mirror in the front and I'm going, yeah, I'm looking good. And then that scan comes around and sees the back of me and goes, oh my God, look at those love handles. And that's a fact. I have massive love handles in the back of me. For whatever reason, they say during menopause you gain belly fat. Well, mine decided to go to the behind of me. I don't know why. So I do need that accountability. During the pandemic, I'll be honest, I put on 15 pounds during the pandemic. I was still able to wear my jeans, albeit they were tight. They were very tight. And that's when I said, well, you know what? The nutritionist is back open again. I need to go back. So I went back masked, you know, because we had to wear masks at that time. But it was extremely important to me to get back on track and be that size that I am used to being. So the other thing that I found out about myself, and this is just a fact, that I'm going to, for the rest of my life, have to weigh, scoop, and measure my food. And again, I'm fine with that because like I eat the same thing every day. I have no problem going out once a week and enjoying that mealtime with my husband. On vacation, I can eat whatever the hell I want. Even when I tell my nutritionist, oh, I'm going on vacation, she goes, good, enjoy it. You know, that's the way they feel. But when you come back, you get back on track. Does that mean starvation? No, it just means following the amount of calories you need in order to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, or the exact calories you need in order to maintain whatever your goal is. Some benefits that I found from following my macros other than weight loss. Overall, I feel better. I'm extremely regulated in terms of both bathroom, and when I was still getting my period, I would get it at the exact 28-day mark. So if you are not regular and you want to be regular, eat the same thing every day. You'll be surprised. I've had, and I'm probably going to jinx myself here, I have not been ill since 2019. I've not had COVID, I've not had a cold, the flu, and following my macros and my nutritionist, I was typhoid Mary and sick all the time. You know, I don't want to jinx myself now because I know COVID is going around again, but I mean, I somehow, you know, was able to avoid that completely. And I was back at the gyms the first day they were open. And yeah, I mean, I guess I've been very lucky. I've also been, I'm on an immunosuppressant. I have a slight case of rheumatoid arthritis, so I'm on a mild immunosuppressant. And supposedly that's gonna make my chances of getting sick easier. But yet I follow my macros, and I think that has helped a lot. Particularly, and you're gonna laugh at me, particularly my peppers, because there's a ton load of vitamin C in there. Now, the nutritionist doesn't say, Carolyn, you need to eat peppers every day. They don't care how you get to your macros. And you're going to find, in order to get to your macros, and in order for you to feel satiated and not be hungry, you're just gonna have to eat healthier foods. Do I have time, amount of macros to throw in ice cream? Absolutely, I eat ice cream almost every day, light ice cream. Almost every day. But you know, if you're most people, you're gonna be wanting the potato, the salad, your green beans, your broccoli, because otherwise without that food, you're going to be hungry. So I hope this is kind of clear and more or less to you, but basically I'm gonna wrap it up and say, you know, I need that accountability. I have to weigh, scoop, and measure. I have to learn that it's not all or nothing, to make small changes and to continue to be honest with myself. And I do that by wearing structured clothing to make sure I get up and get dressed every day, put on jeans, put on a top. And, you know, it's really, you know, you can't be like, oh, like I know I'm gaining muscle from the gym, but if my pants are a little tight, that isn't muscle. Muscle takes up less space than fat. So if things are starting to feel tight on me, it is not muscle. You have to be honest with yourself. If anything, muscle is going to make my body smaller. As a woman, we don't bulk up, and fat just takes up more space than muscle. People say muscle weighs more than fat. That's not true. Muscle takes up less space than fat. So when you lose the fat, the muscle weighs the same amount, you just don't notice it as much. All right, and that is a wrap. I hope this helps someone. Again, follow Sean Casey on Facebook. I follow him. He helps me give some ideas about diet and continues to beat in my head. It's just moderation. Same with Jenn. She does grocery hauls and meal preps and kind of gives me some ideas and motivation to continue on this path. All right, take care, and I hope this helps someone. And until next time.